Welcome to Deal. Gets open for three. Dagger!
The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss! And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
My approval ratings keep going up.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Welcome into Defeating the Curse. It's been an eternity, but we are back. Super Bowl preview show, Commanders recap, season recap show, State of the Union preview show, a little bit of everything in this one. We'll keep it moving. Stevie, I'm going off of muscle memory here. I don't honestly remember how to work the board. I'm doing it on the fly, but it's good to see you. FP is here. Pete from Philly is here. This is sure to be a very annoying show to listen back to and air check, because I'm sure the Eagles propaganda will probably bookend the show, start and finish. We may get an Eagles chant along the way as well.
It's fly Eagles fly nonsense.
So bad. It's so bad, and everything about the city just stinks. But we'll bring him in here in a second when we get into the Super Bowl. But boys, let's go like 30 seconds here, quick. Recap the Commander season for me, Stevie. Give me like a superlative or a 2-sentence recap of the season. FP, you're going to go right after him.
I'll one-up you, Joe, because I love one-upping you. I'll give you less than 30 seconds. The curse is back. We don't have any owners.
Okay.
We thought that we were done with the curse with the Caps in 18, Nats in 19. Curse is alive and well because we don't have any ownership in this city.
Listen, if anybody wanted to challenge what the curse was all about, I think our boy LP has been saying it from the beginning. It's always been about Dan, and it's still here. So I don't know exactly what we do with the show, or do we rebrand it? I mean, there's a whole bunch of questions. If he actually sells the team, I don't know. Did you talk to your boy Ronnie Mervis, Stevie? Is he still in the mix here, or is he not throwing in? He doesn't have eight Billy sitting in his sock drawer.
He's more in than Mr. Bezos down in Amazon HQ too.
I think he's playing the long game. He's got to be the guy, right? Elon's too busy trying to move humanity to Mars to pay attention to this. But
he's got that Mamacita said she's a football fan, so I don't know her name, but that's the best thing we got going for us right now.
Listen, $49 million. If you got it sitting around, that house looks very promising. I'm not a Maryland guy, so I couldn't pay that to move to Maryland. But the house looks. Maybe that's the first step. Who knows? Apparently, he lives in London full time, which just kind of feeds into my theory that this was a ploy all along to get the England or London Commanders, which actually fits James Bond the whole bit. I'm not going to talk about it here, but FP, give me a quick 2-3 sentence summary here on the Commanders season. I know you actually watched the team as opposed to Stevie, the majority of it. So
yeah, I glutton for punishment. I actually watched every game start to finish live.
Did you watch the one where they beat the snot out of the Eagles?
I did watch the one where we beat the snot out of the Eagles.
You mean 4 turnovers and a freaking lucky
Heineke winning a game against the then undefeated team. Yes, that's
you guys touched on it, right? If Snyder sells, this is the best season in 25 plus years since the Super Bowl win, hands down. It doesn't matter what's on the field. This is the best season us as fans have had since 1991 if Snyder sells.
Which is crazy
Football
because
related?
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles went from contender to crap to rebuilt to contender to like literally playing in a Super Bowl in a couple days. And personally, this is just my opinion on Hurts. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback, but that system works. AJ was a huge help. We'll bring in Pete here in a second to talk about it, but it's extremely frustrating as a Commanders fan to see basically everyone else in the division either stay consistent, reload, or literally go right back to it. And the Giants, we were talking quickly here before we turned the mics on. The Giants are going to overpay. Like, I don't think they have a choice with Daniel Jones. They're going to have to sign him. But like, are they a better team than the Commanders? Like, just from a talent perspective, it's really hard for me to swallow that considering the talent that the Commanders have. But you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing. And Daniel Jones, as average as he is now, he dominates the Commanders, right? I think he's 4-2 or 5-2 or whatever in his career. But I mean, it's for as long as we can remember here, we've been in the same spot.
Talent, no. Coaching, yes. Because I guarantee you, Dable wasn't playing golf during the Senior Bowl. Ron Rivera was.
I mean, listen, Stevie will kill him too. I'll kill him too. Like the guy took a victory lap for another 500 finish season when the playoffs were in his crosshairs. They didn't get it done. the Commanders are such a frustrating team to be a fan of. But we'll bring Pete here in a second. But just quick, as a fan of a NFC East rival team, Stevie, can you cheer for a rival in the Super Bowl? We got some people in our inner circle that are Giants fans, which is super annoying in and of itself, less annoying than Philly fans. But like they're cheering for the Eagles because it somehow props up the division. I'm not on board with that. I can't cheer for the Cowboys. I can't cheer for the Eagles. I can't cheer for the Giants. Where do you fall on this? Like, you don't care anymore, or are you still, I don't know. Where do you fall on it? I can't do it.
Can I cheer for a rival? Yes. Can I cheer for Philly?
Wow. Okay.
No,
all right.
That's a disgusting city. It's a cesspool city. Nobody cares about it. No, it's stuck in between actual cities that matter. It's decrepit. It's racist. It's awful. Okay. It's a horrible city with horrible people. There's nothing redeeming about them. Go on YouTube and search Bill Burr Philadelphia incident. Okay. And you will see him go off for 10 minutes on how disgusting of a city Philly is and his wish that everyone get herpes there.
FB, can you cheer for the Eagles or a division rival in a situation like this?
Absolutely not. And I'm torn because as much as I hate Mahomes, more specifically his stupid TikTok brother, I will root for them. I hate Mahomes. Come on, Kermit the Frog voice, and he's just nobody should be that good in their first 5 years in the league, and somehow high ankle sprains don't affect him. I hate Mahomes. I will take him 100 out of 100 times over anything Eagles related.
So you guys are echoing kind of my sentiment as well. I just can't cheer for the Eagles now. Not to bury the lead, I think they're going to win, but I'm not going to cheer for them. Like I just can't. I can't cheer for them. But with that, let's bring in Pete here. And Pete, I'm going to put you on a pitch count. I may mute you if you get super annoying, but it's good to have you back on the show. For those that don't know, Pete is a diehard fan of the show. He's the one that's actually been pushing us behind the scenes to get back on air. And it only felt right to obviously have him here and rep his team and give him a little bit of airtime here to talk, convince us that the Eagles are better than they appear to be. Because as far as I'm concerned, Pete, they had an above average season. They did lose to the Commanders. It seemed like maybe it saved their season. We saw that with the Steelers a couple years ago. The then Redskins, I think, went in and beat, or maybe they were the Washington football team. I don't know. They derailed the Steelers season. Eagles seemed to recover from it. They picked up a defensive tackle just off of the street that happens to be a Pro Bowler. That's maybe lucky or maybe not. But they also beat two. Basically, they beat quarterbacks that don't exist, like below average quarterbacks to actually get to the Super Bowl. So, like, to me, it's going to carry a little bit of an asterisk. I don't know if you see it the same way.
Joe, ask him to name a team that had an easier route to the Super Bowl than the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles.
It doesn't exist. Ever. No. Nobody's ever faced Daniel Jones and then
Listen.
Brock Purdy and what was the backup?
Josh
the guy
Johnson.
from Commanders.
Josh Johnson, our guy.
Yeah, well, he's Shanny's guy, right? So like I know what Pete's gonna say. They don't play defense. They blah blah blah. Fine, but like those offenses weren't gonna score any points either. But anyway, the floor is yours. We're gonna give you as much as we can in uninterrupted time here. But to me, the Eagles are punching way above their weight class, and they were gifted a path to the Super Bowl, and that's no fault of their own. They can only play who's on the schedule. But they have a real challenge here in the Chiefs. I think they can do it. I think A.J. Brown deserves a ton of credit for what he brought to the team. But I don't know. How do you see it? Are they better than we think? Is this dynasty stuff here? Are we talking 2-3 in a row?
All right. First of all, thank you, gents, for having me on. I appreciate it as always. A couple things right out of the gate. Number one, you play who the schedule says you play. Yes, the opponents have been statistically easier than other teams. You know who had either the third or fourth easiest schedule this year? Anybody want to guess?
The Commanders?
Nah, dude. The Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, but no one talks about that. So look that one up on Pro Football
You think Pete from Philly cares about the Commanders right now, Joe?
Number two, Jalen Hurts.
When we beat him down, when Heineke was receiving
before I get to Jalen Hurts. Number two, as far as like what we did to these opponents, look, your team came in to Philly and took the W. again, like I said earlier, 4 fluke turnovers and a bad review that was like, oh, we're just not going to call a face mask, but we'll give you the turnover. That's okay.
Oh, you want to talk about some shit in the end zone? You want to talk about what happened to the Commanders the following week? Yeah, this is the wrong. You're barking the wrong tree. No,
look, I'm pushing your buttons in order, Joe, just to get you riled up here because it's been like 6 months since you've been on the pod that you run, by the way. So there is that. So second, as far as Jalen Hurts is concerned, people are not giving him enough credit, and here's why I tell you. The person with the number one, what is it, EPA of passes more than 20 yards this year is not Patrick Mahomes, it's Jalen Hurts, which means he's completed more balls, long balls, accurately over the course of the season than anyone else this year. Okay, Patrick Mahomes, or you name another quarterback, he's number one. Okay, so the numbers are not lying. Against whoever he plays, he's got to make those throws, So that's that. The other thing I'll say about this team is
I just don't like Jalen Hurts. Mumbles too much. Sounds like Ozzy Osbourne.
I'm going to leave that comment alone because I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, it's if I have to hear about how much the dude squats and how strong his legs are and QB sneaks and
listen, he had an opportunity, right? Last year we were terrible. He played badly. He got beat by Tampa in the playoffs in a really bad game. And this year was the Jalen Hurts year. If you stink up the joint, we will draft a quarterback with the Saints pick in the first round.
You're not going to give the coaching any love here?
Hold on, I'm getting to that. Okay. However, coaches don't throw passes more than 20 yards down the field. So we got a receiver to opposite Devontae Smith. We got A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts stepped up and performed, period. Now, he has been hurt, and this is why I think there's a little bit of recency bias against him because he has not played a healthy game since the first half of the Bears game in Chicago, which I was at. Okay. That was December 18th. That was like 75 years ago in COVID time. Okay. So no one has watched him play a really good game. And look, the Giants stink. We didn't need to throw against the Giants. The game was over in the first quarter. Okay. So why were we going to throw on Jalen Hurts injured shoulder? We're going to run the ball.
You don't have to defend who they were playing. Like I said,
I know that. But what I'm saying is I'm defending your criticism.
Right? Like
no, you're right. I'm defending your criticism against Hurts because he hasn't had to step up. He will have to step up in this game, no question. Right?
Where did he learn how to pass from? Because the last 2 years,
I mean, that wasn't.
I have no idea.
That wasn't there before.
Is it AJ Brown?
No.
If AJ Brown goes down, does the Eagles' offense completely die out?
It does not because
he looks.
They got some other studs. They got some other guys.
We have Dallas Goedert
from last year to this year.
You're absolutely right. He basically he worked.
Number 6.
Listen, he worked in the offseason on his mechanics and his deep ball, and he has been. I'm telling you, no one in Philly expected this. Nobody in Philly was like, "This is the Jalen Hurts year." It was like Jalen Hurts is going to bomb. We're going to take that number 10 pick from New Orleans. We're going to draft the quarterback. We're going to take our 2 number 1s. We're going to trade up in the first round, and we're going to grab somebody. That's what we were saying all offseason. And then this guy shows up and 38 points, 24, 24, 29, 20, 26, 35, 29. And even in the loss against you all, 21 points, right? He was playing lights out. He really was. And to the other point of who do we play? Okay, we had Dallas, all right? The game he played against Dallas scored 33 points. Okay.
Listen, you don't have to defend who they were. Like I said, they are in the Super Bowl, and I'm assuming you're going with them to win this, right? Do you have it close or blowout? What do you? What's your pick? Give me your pick.
My pick is the Eagles are going to win. I'm going to say it's going to be close because Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. Ankle sprain, his leg could be on threads. It doesn't matter. That guy is going to play outside his mind to win.
And as long as Kelsey's on the field, I mean, he's unguardable. I mean, at what point 100%. Do we start talking about Travis being the best tight end ever? At some point, we have to have that conversation.
Probably 5 more years.
No,
right? I mean, he's chasing Gronk, right? Gronk's still from a full.
That's why he needs more time.
I think he needs more time to catch him. But
Tony Gonzalez, I mean, he's going to surpass any name.
The other, I mean, he likely will end up being the best tight end ever played. Right?
He scares me to death in this game. There are 2 people that
he's made me
Mahomes
easily
and Kelsey,
$1,000 this year.
Those 2 guys are on the field in any kind of health. It doesn't matter what anyone says.
Yeah,
they have an absolute 100% chance to win this game by themselves.
It's very reminiscent of peak or prime Brady and Gronk.
Totally.
They can scheme Travis Kelce open at any point in time, at anywhere in the field. It's amazing actually that they can do that consistently. And we've seen it all year. He just gets it done. But So you're on Philly. I'm on Philly too. Stevie, are you on the Chiefs here?
I'm staying quiet. By the way, we've got comments coming in. There's a John from Centerville, Virginia. Okay, can we bring him in, Joe? I don't know how to do that. Okay.
I mean, he can. Okay, let me check. Let me see.
But he's commenting on how insufferable the Philly fans are, and that guy lived in that city, so he would know. Can we get a subject matter expert on how disgusting Philly is?
I'm not mistaken. If it's the same John I'm thinking of, I think he was roommates with Pete once upon a time. I think.
Okay, I don't think that's true, but there might be a rivalry there that I don't know about. Okay, but yeah, I've stayed quiet because I've watched maybe 2 Philly games all season, so I don't have the numbers to back this up. But they're gonna lose. I don't know why, but they're gonna lose.
Eyeball test, okay. just a sniff test. This is your.
I'll tell you why they're gonna. Here's why they'll win, and here's why they'll lose. I'll give you the 2 reasons. They're gonna win because we have more talent at 20 out of 22 positions on the field. Period. We're better in every position except quarterback and tight end. Okay, those are the 2. The reason to lose is those 2. Like that's it. The other thing I will say is if we get ahead, if we get a lead, and here's how the Eagles are going to win. And I'm just going to say this, and I'll turn it back over. The way the Eagles win this game is eat clock and keep Patrick Mahomes sitting on the sideline for like 8-minute drives and 9-minute drives and 10-minute drives and give him 3 possessions in the second half and keep him off the field. We will win the game. If he's out there slinging it and throwing bombs, we're in huge trouble.
Well, Pete, I should ask the objective people in the room, but how likely is it that the Eagles can get consistent pressure on Patrick Mahomes? Because to me, that's the difference between Chiefs win and Chiefs loss in every game that they're in. They're going to drop back. Andy Reid's going to throw it 40 times a game.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if they're ahead by 30 or down by 30. That's what he's going to do. They don't rely on Pacheco for the run game on a consistent basis. They're going to throw the ball with the
Hilaire's active. Maybe that changes with
Hilaire. They activated CEH.
Maybe.
The Andy Reid offense. They throw
Steve is hitting on a point that we're all missing, and I think a big discussion is Andy Reid versus Sirianni, and you cannot in any other world go against Andy Reid when it comes to preparation, big time games. And I mean, me and Pete were talking about it. The last time Andy Reid like choked in a big game was what, 02, 03 with the Eagles?
No, I'm going to challenge you on that. It was
04. He's got issues.
4 of the most 5 heartbreaking Kansas City Chiefs home playoff losses have been under Andy Reid. He's only been there 10 years.
He's had clock management issues.
He's a huge clock management liability. Him and Shanahan had the same problem, which is why if that game was close, we would have won that too. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I am praying this is not close.
Don't bring up
this iteration of Andy Reid. You can't go against him.
He hasn't been in close games.
You can't go. Look, come on, big Kool-Aid. You can't go against fat guys in red. You can't do it.
Listen, he was my coach for 14 years, and he could never get us over the hump because he couldn't manage clock. He didn't.
But it's not fair to say that he's the same guy. He's not the same guy, and he's
not the same guy because he doesn't have the same quarterback. He has.
He had a quarterback that was dry heaving in the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Stevie.
Well, and T.O. was breaking on a broken leg, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He had 9 catches for 186 yards with 6 screws in his ankle. 6 weeks after a broken ankle. His quarterback's thrown up in the fourth quarter.
Honestly,
slow it down.
I don't think it's fair to say that the current iteration of Andy Reid he's not the same guy. That's not. I don't think that's.
No,
fair.
To your question, Stevie, it is about pressure. If we get pressure on Mahomes and make him uncomfortable, that is how we win. Because then it's 3 and out. We get him off the field. The question is, who is going to block Hassan Reddick? Tell me who's going to block him. Name me a Chiefs offensive lineman that's any good.
I can't name any.
I can't name any, so the way to call me out, okay?
I'm just saying, if Reddick gets in the backfield, it's going to be a long night for the Chiefs.
All right, hold on. Go ahead, Stevie.
I was just going to say, a big mistake that the Bengals made was not chipping what's the guy's name? Oh, Clark. Is it Frank Clark? No. The other big guy for the Chiefs.
Chris Long. Clark. What's his name?
The defensive end.
I think it's Chris Long. He's the only one that tackled.
Not Chris Long. You're thinking of Philly. And don't say Howie Long. Listen, the
Pro Bowler.
Yes, the Bengals did not
Chris
Jones. They did not chip Chris Jones on crucial plays and keep a tight end in to help out with pass protection for Burrow. And so once they did that in the second half, they started playing better.
Sure.
Right. And so now I think the refs stole that game from the Cincinnati, but that's something else. But to me, if the Chiefs can keep Mahomes upright, can keep the pocket clean, can let him. And then the question is, who's he throwing it to? How healthy are these guys?
Yeah, that's
now
a
you're
big
not going to keep Kelsey in the chip. So
Right.
who are you throwing to if you do need to keep someone in the block?
Yeah,
That's
but I mean,
Juju Smith-Schuster gets $1 million if he plays more than 50% of the snaps.
Juju Smith-Schuster is who you're hanging your hat on for the
He
Super Bowl?
sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
I mean, listen, I don't disagree with Pete. Like they got two guys that can win him the game and a whole bunch that can lose it for him, right?
Right.
And
That's exactly right.
Kelsey's literally unguardable. I mean, he is.
And I will say our linebackers are not good. And that's where Kelsey's going to eat all day. If he's into like 10, 12 yards, I heard some other crazy stat real fast this week. The Kelsey's attempt per pass out of 2 tight end formation was 17.5 yards on average.
Yeah.
So like they run 2 tight ends, Kelsey's getting a first down every time. It's automatic.
I mean, we
Mahomes
saw
and Kelsey are playing backyard ball. It's not planned. It's not scripted. They just shoot each other a look, and they're connected.
But
Andy
honestly,
Reid lets them go out there.
But that's why to me it's very reminiscent of peak or prime Brady and Gronk. Like just you cannot guard them, right? And it takes a handful of people to bring him down in most cases as well. So barring injury, he's going to eat. Like he's going to get his yards. There's no way that that he gets whatever his line is. If somebody's got it, whatever his yards is, I'll take the over on it, right? He's gonna get it. He's gonna eat. But FP, before we pivot into the next thing here, like, are you on the Chiefs or the Eagles here?
I'm on the Chiefs.
What's your score?
I'm on the Chiefs. I just I have it a high scoring game. I have it like a 42-38. I have it like a lot of touchdowns. I think the last time the Chiefs and the Eagles played, it was last year. I think Mahomes threw like 5 touchdown passes. Like the defense, the defense, correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, it's not that different from last year, maybe except for D-line pressure that they're getting. Yeah.
Reddick is better, and the Chiefs don't have Tyreek Hill, who caught 3 touchdowns for 600,000 yards against us.
Granted, but I mean, I still think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
I think so. I think it's at least in the
both of those defenses are kind of suspect.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on the points, guys. I don't see it happening.
I agree with you, Joe. I think the last time we saw this Chiefs offense, they could not matriculate the ball down the field against the Bengals. I mean, they got saved. If we go in to see what the refs did to that Bengals defense, and I'm not even talking about.
Are you calling full on conspiracy with the double third downs and something? I mean, like, what level are you saying the refs took it? Like,
I'm calling Arian Foster.
41-5. Like,
you didn't get the script that week. You didn't see the script that Arian Foster saw.
You didn't study the script. Yeah. I'm tracking.
I'm saying. I'm not even talking about the replay of 4 times. I'm talking about the ticky-tack defensive holding calls and
the no roughing on Burrow 3 times or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they didn't call those
and
drive
honestly,
extenders.
That last roughing on Mahomes where they put him in the field goal range, you swallow the whistle. It was a late hit. It was a bad call. I mean, it was a good call.
I don't think
at that stage of the game, you swallowed the whistle.
The way they were calling the game, you swallowed the whistle. They weren't calling that foul all game, so you can't call it there. You can't call it there.
To ask him to come to a complete stop.
Well, I mean, but what the NFL should do is look at, either situational or type of out of bounds hit. Like not everything automatically needs to be 15 yards. But I think there needs to be like
treat it like a roughing and
unintentional,
like a face mask. Like there's a 5 face mask and a 15 face mask.
Like if there's a 300-pound human moving at 20 miles an hour, he's not going to stop. Right? Like
the second Mahomes steps out of bounds,
run to the quarterback and then step out of bounds and take a hit. Like it's just a matter of time before somebody schemes to that. Right?
I think you need to start looking into refs and sports gambling. I think there's a bigger conspiracy. Way bigger conspiracy.
Yeah. Just speaking of roughing the passer, and I'm not trying to get us on a tangent here. I watched the Bullies of Baltimore 30 for 30 last night. And that's an incredible show. And it shows you how the Ravens made the Super Bowl because Saragusa had a roughing the passer call that wasn't called on Rich Gannon in the AFC Championship game. And I mean, you do that, what he did, if you watch the video, what he did, putting his 350-pound body on Rich Gannon, you'd be ejected. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what they said in the thing. Brian Billick said
if that Ravens defense played anywhere close to today's league, they would all get immediately.
They all be suspended.
Their motto, their motto going in. I think I saw a couple clips of that, Stevie. I think Ray Lewis was on record saying like our motto was like if they can't score, if they can't play, they can't score. If they can't score, they can't win. Like that's everybody wanted to have Doug Williams' head for Bountygate, which is a whole other problem, and it shouldn't have happened anyway.
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams.
We're good with.
Yeah, Doug. Yeah, I forgot. We are the Commanders. I forgot. But it was perfect timing, by the way. No, but like they were defensive philosophy was very straightforward from the beginning of that. So it's, I personally still think that this will be a low scoring game. I know they're going to shoot up, Mahomes' his ankle and keep him loose and whatever.
If it's low scoring, the Eagles win because that means we ran the ball.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm on the Eagles. I think they can. They have the personnel to slow the game down, right? And if
the
they
Chiefs can't stop the run, and we have 3 good running backs.
He's pinning his hopes on Miles Sanders like he's Gale saying.
Oh, there's that other guy right there.
Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, Miles Sanders.
Boston Scott's a pounder, right? He's
a giant killer to our friend who's.
I was gonna say Brian Westbrook, but he's not Brian Westbrook. He's not LaShawn McCoy either. He's just
what Pete from Philly. What annoying Philly celebs are going to be present?
All of them are going to show up there. You're going to have.
Give me a greatest hits list.
You're going to have who's going to be there? So
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's who I'm thinking of.
He's always there.
Rob McElhenney will be there. I like these guys. They're not annoying in a way that like they're just there. They're actually from Philly and fans.
Cooper
McNabb won't be there.
I think McNabb's there. I think he's there.
Yeah.
He's on one of the studio shows, right? Still?
He's all in on Jalen. Yeah, he'll be there. He'll be there.
McNabb needs to go away. He's like bad omen. Get out of there.
I was going to say they let him back in the city.
Yeah,
I was dry heaving last time they saw him.
No, they're doing him for the whole. The Eagles have like 6 black quarterbacks and all that, which is
RG3 did that.
I don't need McNabb
Of course,
anywhere near this team and his bad juju from
talk about RG3 here for just a second. Did you see him interviewing Kirk?
No.
I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Oh, so good.
You must have given him mad props for getting all that paper from all your teams, paying him.
Well, so it actually came up on local radio here today. RG3 was doing a local hit on Sports Talk here, and he said that they were reliving some of the memories from 2012, right? And he said it kind of tongue in cheek, right? But like that conversation must have been so fascinating, right? And obviously after like one is still playing, they're same draft class, same team, one's still playing, one's likely going to sign his 3rd max contract. And the other one is doing interviews at the best catch competition on this. By the way, I don't want to talk about the Pro Bowl because it was an embarrassment, but
there's nothing to talk about.
That's what they're going to do. Just scrap it. Like, just don't
watch it.
I heard it on. Not to overshare here, but my nephew was actually part of it, right? So my nephew is he's a quarterback. He was there. He was invited to participate.
That's
they
cool.
won the regionals. They were there. They were flown out by the Commanders, but that's a whole other podcast because they cheaped out big time compared to everybody else. But the point is, like, even he was like, yeah, I didn't understand like the best catch thing where, Stephon Diggs jumping off a trampoline. Like, just make a dunk contest. Like, have a dunk contest. Have the 400-pound lineman swing a baseball bat. I want to see them do a home run derby. That's what I want to see. Have a dunk contest. I want Myles Garrett to dunk a ball.
You want full gimmick mode, basically.
Yeah, listen. They will. NFL athletes don't get enough credit, I think, as being athletes, right? People see them as just overgrown human beings that hit each other really hard. I think if you're going to invite them to basically a skills competition, it's an opportunity to really showcase just how athletic and freakish they are, right? Like, why if Tyreek Hill is there, why isn't he in a foot race with like a cheetah? Like, they could do something like, give him a 2-second head start over everyone else. See if anyone can catch him. Have him run laps. Yeah, I would watch it too. I'd watch the boys swing a bat and see who can hit a home run or I don't know. Dunk contest is easy, but like, I don't know. They got to find some other way to do it. The flag football was okay, but like the skills thing was weird. Like, I just wasn't into it. Like, what's the point? And those guys are there and they seem to be happy to be there. I'm sure they're happy to get paid, but I'm just not feeling the whole thing anymore. Like, it was better the old way when you at least had the opportunity for Sean Taylor to take a punter's head off, right? Like, at least there was something going on. But anyway, so we're split here. So me and Pete are on the Eagles. I'm on a low scoring game. It sounds like Pete, you got him high scoring.
I think it's going to be high scoring, even with a strong run game. I think we're going to get a bunch of points. I think we're going to score in the 30s. That's just what we do.
Bullish, boys. Look, he's got a
couple big strikes from Jalen and a controlled run game, like 200 yards rushing. I think we're going to get
200 yards for Jalen.
No. 200 for the team.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
But the Chiefs do not have a good run defense. They just don't. They
played better in the second half last week, and obviously warm weather.
Well, according to Stevie, it was the refs helping them out. So
but they did. But we're split. So as a show, we're split. We got 2 on the Eagles, 2 on the Chiefs, 2 high scoring.
Let me answer your first question. Can you root for a division rival? 1,000% no. It's an absolute violation. It doesn't matter who it is.
It only seems like the Giants fans are the ones that do it, right? And maybe they care the least about their team. I don't know, but like It's always the Giants fans that are like, yeah,
Can't do it.
props up the division, blah,
I
blah.
wouldn't root for the Giants, Commanders, Cowboys. No chance. I couldn't do it.
How do you feel as an outsider? Does the Commanders, like, what is that? What is that? How does that sound to you, Pete? Because it sounds like shit to us.
It's dumb. It's
Yeah.
really dumb. It's
And
a
Major
stupid name.
How do
It
you feel
doesn't
about
have a
Major
good
Teddy?
shortened nickname. Like it's really like a bad joke, and they frankly should have left it as the Washington football team.
Yes,
That
and they
would have been
doubled
better.
down with the terrible mascot who's not a commander and wearing a Redskins uniform. There's just so many things here that we could pick apart. But okay, so I mean, any props you guys are interested in? I mean, I looked briefly at the Jalen Hurts number. They got him at 65 and a half yards. I think that's high personally.
No, you take the over.
Oh, I'm way under on that. I
Take
don't.
the, no.
I don't think they can run him.
He's going to stretch plays with his legs. Take the over.
Kelsey, I'm looking at Kelsey. Stevie, you're taking the under on that one too.
On the rushing Hurts, yeah.
Yeah, I'm under on that. They
That's
got
a big number.
got Kelsey at 110.5, 110 yards receiving. It's a big number too. I think I'm over on that one. I think he's gonna
eat at the linebackers.
Yeah, they got him. They got him at 8.5 receptions, which I would definitely take the over on that. I think he's gonna get peppered all game long. And then
I also think the reason he's going to be over is because their wideouts are not going to get open against our secondary.
Here's one for you in FP. Eagles defense, 2.5 sacks on Mahomes. FP, you got to read on that one.
Ooh, 2.5. I might go under on that one.
I'll go over only if the first one injures his ankle. Then I'll take the over.
I don't think FanDuel allows for that type of bet, but okay.
Fair.
Okay. All right, Stevie, they got A.J. Brown at 65.5 yards.
Over.
Okay.
I have a question for Stevie. Do you care more about the game or the Rihanna concert?
Oh my God.
Ray, baby. There's no chance he's going to see the game here. Give me the over on Ray.
I just want to see what she's wearing. Okay, I mean, I think she's gonna surprise us here. Okay, I think
everyone wants new music from her. I want the old bangers to come out. That's what I want. I want the classics.
Exactly.
I want the refs to start to refer to every replay as Pond to replay during the game.
I think Stevie can watch it with the mute button on, and it would be the same for him. I think it's all.
I want that rain to come down with umbrella.
There's no chance you're gonna hit umbrella.
She needs to hit the classics.
If she hits that,
are we gonna hear Disturbia? There's no chance we're gonna hear
Wakanda Forever. I'm out.
Disturbia is our best track. That's just my opinion. I think that's the one seed. That's the one seed. Let me see. Hold on. There's one more prop bet I wanted to look at here. Mahomes 287 yards and 287.5.
Passing?
I would go over.
Under.
I'll go under.
It's too high.
Yeah, it seems high.
It's a lot.
It seems high.
I bet stupid, but I win big. I'm going over.
Total points 49.5.
Over.
I'm under on it. I don't think they'll get there.
I
mean, that seems
right there.
49.5 is 25-24. That's no.
In my head, I was thinking 27-21 Chiefs. So that's 48.
Yeah. Well, I can get it. I think the Chiefs are going to
Stevie, that works with numbers.
I actually have a bet with that exact score.
That's
27-21 Chiefs. I placed that bet on the 4th of February. It's a $7,500 payout if that hits.
Anybody see defensive touchdown or special teams here?
No.
What's the bet?
I don't see sloppy turnovers happening.
It's at a half.
I'll give one fumble like strip sack that the Eagles are going to cause. Reddick is going to get there. I'm just telling you. He blew up Brock Purdy's arm with like one hand.
You're very confident. You're making me rethink this a little bit.
I mean, I've watched them all year, and this team is better than the 17 team, and it's better than the 04 team. Like,
would you trade Hassan Reddick for Chase Young straight up?
Wait, Stevie, what?
Would you trade Hassan Reddick for Chase Young straight up?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
I just wanted to confirm that.
What's Chase Young worth? What's he worth right now? He's worth
maybe a bag of chips right now.
Third round pick, maybe a third round pick, maybe.
Do the Bosas have like a redheaded stepchild brother that we could trade Chase Young for?
Or the Mannings? Is there like a illegitimate?
No, you need to find a Watt cousin, like a TJ JJ Watt's.
Like we need a quarterback
cousin or something.
You don't need any. Listen, we were actually having this chat earlier.
Wait, what happened to Carson Wentz? He was going to save your franchise.
No, him and his no. Howell has to. Howell has to be the guy. He has to.
How
be
is
the
that
guy
not going to throw in a Carson Wentz shot in this pod? Come on.
No, come on. We're getting Derek Carr. We're gonna overpay. Ron Rivera is gonna do what Ron Rivera does.
Can I just say though, I really hope that doesn't happen because they
It's
spent
happening.
draft capital on Howell. They got to know, like they got to find out sooner if he's the guy or not, right? Like,
Yeah, they spent a fifth round pick.
Take a page out of the Philly book, right? They felt like Jalen was going to be at least a better option, and they went with it. And look where they are now, right? Like we're the only team that's evaluating options.
They had like a season and 3 games reference for Hurts. We have 1 game against the Cowboys as reference for Howell.
Well, come on. I mean, you act like they don't have practice. You got to think right now. Sam Howell couldn't beat what we saw on the field this year. He couldn't beat these guys out for the job. He's not the guy.
He has to be better than what we saw. Yeah,
just prepare for us to get.
Why don't you go get Garoppolo? He's a free agent.
That was my pick, and everybody killed me in our chat. I said Jimmy G would be he's the only
better than your whole roster.
Only one out there. No, I don't know. I think
Wentz versus Garoppolo. Come on.
No, I would take Garoppolo, but I wouldn't give up talent to get him, right?
No, you don't have to. He's free agent. That's the best.
They're going to have to pay him. They're going to have to do something creative because Wentz's contract is a freaking noose. Like there's nothing to do with that contract.
That's why you need the Sixers owner Josh Harris to buy your team and bail you out of this situation.
I thought that guy wrote a book called "I Kissed Dating Goodbye."
He did, and then he recanted because he turned out to be a big hornball.
Okay, look, I'm good with. In all seriousness, I'm good with. Looking at Howell next year and if we rebuild that O-line.
Yeah. They can't spend more picks on quarterback.
I think we have to.
What do you do when Howell goes down?
You go back to Heineke and his crazy hairline.
Heineke's not staying. Heineke's gone. He's
going with Scott Taylor to the Raiders. I've been saying Heineke's going to get $10 million plus from somewhere, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're insane." He's going to get it. And he's going to walk.
Heineke follows Scott Turner and only Scott Turner because he knows that offense.
Didn't your boy Scott land with?
The Raiders somehow decided we want Scott Turner out of who knows what McDaniels is thinking. Heineke goes there, but we haven't had a season.
His offense can't be worse than it was. I think that's what he's thinking.
The Washington football team, the Commanders, the Redskins, whatever. We haven't had a season without a QB going down since what? 2017? Earlier? Kirk 2017.
Yeah.
His last year here. We haven't had a season without a QB going down.
We get him back somehow.
Guys, pitchers and catchers report in 2 weeks. Come on.
Dude, I mean, you want to give us this?
Nobody even wants to buy the Nationals.
We're not even going to talk about the crap Wizards.
Nobody even wants to buy that trash team.
It is February 7th. Let me go on record by saying you may witness a historically bad season for the Washington Nationals as a team who's had some bad seasons.
I mean, you get to watch the Phillies retool and get back to the World Series.
You don't have a Phillies team. You just have the Nats North. Okay, you literally rebuilt our whole team. You just took our whole team.
Stevie, I'm going to clip this and send it to your boy Mike because there's no way Rizzo's going to. You'd never expect you to be saying this about him.
Congratulations, Mike Rizzo had a baby. He don't care about the Nats. He had a baby with his lovely wife. Congratulations. But as someone who can attest, you stop watching sports when you have kids.
I mean, has there ever been a franchise that's been
begged for somebody to buy them?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like the Commanders have been for sale for like 5 minutes compared to the Nationals. And nobody seems to want the Nats.
Well, it's because there is a TV contract situation. It has nothing to do with the team.
Yeah, the Angeloses and the Ravens, exactly. the Orioles are destroying us.
They're literally being blackballed. You are watching a team held hostage by another team's
owner. When do the rights expire?
It's in litigation. I mean, it's being, I don't know. We got a lawyer on the thing. Why don't we ask the lawyer? Okay.
I mean, the Orioles
I care this much.
Said if you go against us, we're leaving
Washington
Baltimore.
TV market. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the Masson thing definitely factors in, but like it's still a sports franchise. Like it's
the problem is Daniel Snyder blew up the stadium deal he had sitting on his desk in Virginia by pissing all the legislators off, and they pulled the bill, and it was done deal, and it was going to be financed, and he made
you're talking
all
about
this craziness.
There's 100 reasons why the Commanders won't get a deal done, and they're for sale. But the Nationals got a nice ballpark, and I mean, and they offloaded Soto, right, to make the team, I think, more attractive financially for whoever was coming in, and they got nothing.
Listen, they are going to have a salary, a team salary of $100 million, $60 million of which is guaranteed to 2 pitchers, one of which who doesn't play, Steven Strasburg, and the other who we wish didn't play, Patrick Corbin. That's all you need to know about the Washington
So
Nationals.
why are you talking
Don't
about
bring
pitchers
up
and catchers?
baseball
You should be
talk
worried
during
about the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
Listen, Stevie pivoted away from basketball and football to baseball. He's a baseball guy. He's the baseball.
We
What
can't
do you
go
want to go
baseball
to? The
during
State
Super
of the
Bowl
Union
week.
tonight? What should we talk about? Old Joe.
I'm
What's the
100%.
over-under on-
I'm
on
100%
stumbled words?
ready. Listen, I think he may assign. He may announce his retirement today. He may go up there and say, "I can't do it anymore. Where's the I want ice cream forever. I'm out," and just walk off the stage.
What time do they wake him up before the speech? How
He's
long
probably,
does he get to?
he's probably
how
getting
long does he
ready
get-
like now.
Or how many classified documents are in his pocket?
Oh, listen, when Trump does it, it's the end of the world. When Biden does it, nobody seems to care, right?
There's a
He's too
material
old to
difference. One
understand
lied
these
about
things.
it and one didn't. It's easy, buddy. It's
I think
simple.
they both took it. So, I mean, I don't
One
know.
lied, one didn't.
I mean, listen,
where
Pete,
we
you,
are.
you and I aren't necessarily politically aligned. How many references to the previous administration will we hear tonight?
I only think, what's the line? What's the line set?
I'll give you 3.5 Trump or Trump administration or previous administration mentions. You got to go over.
No.
You're crazy.
No. Because
You're
here's why.
crazy.
It's the second year of the term. He's got enough to talk about in the last 2 years. He's not going to bring up old stuff. It's going to be under. You take the under, I'll guarantee it.
I'm taking the over. I think he mentions Trump more than he mentions Harris.
Within the first 5 minutes, they mentioned Trump and they mentioned how his administration had Chinese balloons. Within the first 5 minutes.
Okay, how many
Curators are
balloon?
not doing
How many
that.
balloon references? I'm gonna go 2.5 balloon references.
Under.
Over. Come on.
Do
It's
you
top
think
of
he
the news
references it
cycle.
at all?
Listen, you have to
all?
understand this. The state of the he may mention it once in the terms of like national security, right? And like
The State of the
espionage.
Union is theatrics.
If
and
you
they're
are
going to
worried
do
about
things
Chinese
to
weather
guidelines.
balloons, you're not paying attention to like what happens on the internet, okay? And like what happens online, which is much more effective.
I mean, you think he's
than
gonna? You think he's gonna
floating
talk about
balloons
TikTok?
over the United States?
You think he's talking about TikTok and the algorithms?
Not going to talk.
America's
Well, that's
stupid?
my point.
Right.
That's my point. The
I mean,
intelligence
we
community is not worried
acknowledge
about
that,
weather balloons.
yes.
Come on.
We acknowledge that as smart human beings.
I think
But
they
State
care.
of the Union is theatrics, and it's to
Not gonna
drive
talk about it.
headlines.
I mean, okay, are you gonna watch it, Pete?
That depends on.
Family life, priorities.
We all have,
After you-
me and you
after
have
this
kids.
weekend's
You know how it is.
Oh, I know, 100%. I won't watch it. I may have it on in the background while we eat dinner or something, but or I'll check out. Usually in years past when I was more invested in politics, I actually wouldn't listen to the State of the Union. I would immediately go to like CNN, MSNBC, and then switch over and get the commentary from both, like the super left and obviously the Fox News and whatever.
Yeah.
And then go back and actually listen to some of the sound bites that they're referencing, right? Because I mean,
They're
I
watching
agree
two
with
different
you.
things.
It's largely theatrics, right? Like this is, stand up, clap. This person's here in the audience, and once upon a time, again, when I was more invested in it, I mean, W is a personal hero of mine. I mean, I could maybe at one point in time I may be able to have like maybe recited some of his State of the Union. And the different country was in a different place, and there was no social media. It mattered a lot more, or I felt like it had more of an impact because you had to listen to it live. It wasn't like, or you had to TiVo it. Like if you missed it live, you missed it. Whereas now I kind of like to have a little bit of the sound bites kind of in my head and then go back.
Just scroll Twitter while it's on in the background. That's what you
I
do.
mean, listen, Twitter for a long time was an unreliable information source. I appreciate what Elon's doing on both sides, cleaning it up a little bit. I mean, I appreciate it, but it's still terrible. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be real.
Sure it is. Of course it is.
It's still more for entertainment than it is for news and information sharing, right? But I mean, listen, I have never actively cheered against any administration ever, right? Like I'm pro America 100%. I want every president to be 100% successful, even if it's not my guy. And Biden's not my guy. But if he called and say, "Hey, Joe, can you come to the White House and let's discuss blah, blah, blah," or "Can you come take notes from me?" Of course I would do it because it's the president. I have a ton of respect for the office. And what an amazing opportunity to meet the president and like be in the White House, right? But at the same time, like, I mean, this administration doesn't have a whole lot to hang their hat on. And I'm curious to see
That's where I
how
would
he
disagree
will.
with you. I would disagree with you.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's going to go out there and tout, we created 1 million jobs. Well, no, like public sector jobs aren't jobs.
It's 12 million.
I know.
That's okay.
And the actual number, 9.5 of them are public sector, right? So meaning government employees at various levels of state and federal government. Those aren't jobs. That's debt, right? And this is just a fundamental.
No, come on, stop it.
No, well, they're jobs in the sense that I'm paying taxes to fund them, but they're not. I mean, I don't see those as jobs. Sorry, I see that as debt. So Like again, I'm not gonna. We don't have to argue about it, but like some of this stuff is just spinning numbers and whatever, and the spin factory and I get it all, right? But I at the same time, like there are real things happening in the world, and I'm not even talking like geopolitical. I'm talking like there's a humanitarian crisis right now in
Big time.
in Turkey. Like
Big
that
time.
earthquake on top of the terrible weather, on top of the sanctions in Syria, like they can't get stuff fast enough to where it needs to be. And obviously you have, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but Anonymous today came out and said that they're actively working to shut down all the scammers and the fake, like all the fake fundraising and stuff, because
and all that stuff.
People like, for as good as people can be, like, my God, can we be just a shitty version of ourselves when stuff like this happens, and the scammers and the whatever and the send your money to this charity, and people just is bad, so like when Anonymous comes to the rescue, and we've seen this in the past, right? There's a couple of documentaries we've talked about here on the show in the past, like when they come to the rescue, like somebody's not doing their job, or people legitimately are falling for something. But like there's real things happening, and the United States, I mean, I still perceive the country to be the beacon of hope and the light on a hill, and like the leader of leaders. Like I think that's still our place in the world, regardless of what China or Russia have to say. But like, the war in Ukraine has been going on for a long time, Pete. Like, and there's not, like we got to pick a side and then do some, you gotta. We saw this personally, and again, not to get on a tangent, but like we got connections to the Middle East, specifically a country called Egypt, right? Like we all got people there. Like that's many of our original, like we saw the previous or two administrations ago be on both sides of 3 different revolutions. Like you can't have that. Right. And
it's more complicated than that.
Absolutely.
You can't just pick a side.
Absolutely.
You're going to pick a side against a NATO ally. That's the huge problem. Right.
Yeah, I know. And listen, I'm with you, but there has to be some, like, we need leadership on this too, right? You can't just continue to sit and watch. So anyway, I know we got into a tangent here. Like I will consume the State of the Union probably in chunks. And I don't cheer against Biden. I just don't think he's done a very good job. I think too many ice cream parties celebrating, 1% drops in inflation, what is that? It's historic levels. But like, I don't want to see him fail, right? And his VP, I mean, she got rolled by the New York Times today, basically saying like, if this guy bows out, we can't run her, which is just amazing. Like,
well, that's more, I think, of state of politics in this country and race relations, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be. I mean, listen. At some point, DTC will do the. We'll do some Republican nomination odds. We'll see who's actually down on Trump and who's.
You gotta wait for the Koch brothers to announce who they're backing before you set.
Well, and Stevie's gonna come in here. Stevie will come in and talk about his girl Tulsi, and I mean, there's a couple out there, but I mean, there's really only 2 contenders, but we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts, FP or Pete from Philly? Thanks for making time. Anything you want to touch on before we put a bow? Are you guys watching The Last of Us on HBO? You following the controversy?
No.
Are you familiar with what The Last of Us is? I heard
it's good.
I haven't started it.
It is good. So
video game show?
Pedro Pascal is one of the best actors of our lifetime, and he'll never get enough credit. He's one of the leads behind, like, in Narcos. He's done a ton of stuff. Okay, but he's acting his balls off in this. It's really well acted. It's based on a video game. And HBO definitely has taken some creative liberties with some of the storytelling to get it. It's a little bit more woke than the game, or in a different direction, but it's definitely worth the time, right? If you're looking for something to entertain you, like, this is a good one, and it's so popular. It's setting some HBO records. They're actually not releasing this week's episode on Sunday. They're going to drop it on Friday. So it doesn't compete with the Super Bowl.
This is the show that's exactly like The Mandalorian with the same lead, right?
Yeah. Well, they did a good job with it. Like, the whole world seems to be buzzing and talking about it. There was some.
I've heard about it. I haven't started it.
Sidekick. Yeah, it's The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, Stevie was doing a rewatch of Ballers. Like, he's on his, like, 3rd rewatch of Ballers at this point. Like, I'm on maybe like my 10th rewatch of Entourage in the background because I can't get enough of that show. I love.
I just refinished Suits.
I mean, Suits is a 10 out of 10. I was telling Pete before we hit record.
I like Suits. Good show.
Harvey Specter. I mean, just as a. I mean, obviously he's fictional, but as a scripted character, is one of the best to ever hit cable airwaves. Period.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and some of the sayings and some of the one-liners just.
The writing on that show is excellent.
Yeah, it felt like especially in the early seasons, like Mike and Harvey's dynamic was very like, Affleck and or maybe not Affleck, like Clooney and Pitt in like Oceans, just very quick, very witty, just good. I mean, it got a little absurd, obviously, with every, listen, I don't have a legal background, but I'm pretty sure I can't read a brief from one look at a folder every time, right?
Definitely can't.
Yeah, so I don't know how that works. Maybe they're just smarter than I am, but
television liberties is what it is.
Yeah, but it's a good show. I mean,
it is.
It's interesting when you think about all the shows. I mean, do you have a show, Pete, that you go back to all the time? Like, you a League guy on the old FX show?
No. The show that I go back to every few years is The Wire. It's still.
I was going to say The Wire for you. You just
scream
The Wire.
It gets tough
to
watch, man.
It's so good, and it holds up. It holds up. No, it still holds.
I think I'm gonna take over and do a rewatch of The Sopranos, but it's such a commitment.
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of episodes. I know. But The Wire was a ton of episodes too, right? And Omar RIP is not with us anymore, right?
5 seasons.
Yeah, The Wire is easier to.
That show launched
like,
a ton of careers. I mean,
what's
rest in peace, Michael K. Williams.
The news one that's 5 seasons. HBO show, Newsroom with Jeff Daniels.
Is that Apple TV?
Yeah, that's an easy swallow.
HBO. I mean, but honestly, Entourage and Ballers falls into that category. Those are both superior shows to Newsroom. But I mean, we got a couple guys on the show that like go into like a Sons of Anarchy, like rewatch every once in a while. Some of that stuff just doesn't hold up. Even Breaking Bad, honestly, like I couldn't do it again. It was too intense, too long.
Yeah,
it was serious.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I have a friend that just started Prison Break again. I was like, that's too much.
No, yeah, I did it. I've done it a couple of times, but like, I like Entourage. I like Ari Gold. He needs a spinoff. I don't think you could do it in 2023. But did you guys ever get into Entourage?
Yeah.
Oh, Pete. Okay, put it on the list.
I've heard. I'd never committed to it.
The movie. Ever get into the League? The movie should have been like 5 episodes, right? It should have been a season. But Pete, did you ever get into the League on FX?
I did not get into the League.
Oh, okay, that one.
Pete, I'm writing these down. One, right? I got a list here.
FP, you've seen the League, right?
I've seen the League for sure.
Yeah. The League is one of those like it's evergreen, especially during football season. It's that's a good one. That's a good one.
I got you.
All right, boys. Any final thoughts? I know I asked and then I started talking again. Pete, any final thoughts? You wanna sing a song or something?
No, I don't need to sing. Just go Birds. I think we're gonna win, and I'm gonna enjoy it thoroughly.
Okay.
Put him on mute before he chants.
No,
I'm not doing the chant. I'll spare
just let him enjoy it. I mean, listen, if they win, we will not have him back on. If they lose, we will have him back on. Right? That's what we're gonna do.
For sure.
I'll take
free money bet from FP. Put first TD scorer Travis Kelce.
Yeah, what's the line on that? What is it? Plus what?
It hits almost every single time he plays.
Yeah. He's gonna score.
I'm feeling
like first Chiefs touchdown or first overall touchdown?
First touchdown score.
Oh, that's if the Eagles get the ball, I don't know. That's a tough bet.
I'm telling you, he has made me easily over $1,000.
We score on first drives. We score touchdowns on first drives. We don't mess around. So if we get the ball first, I think we score first.
Listen, Pete,
I would plus 650. Travis Kelce first TD.
Yeah, I mean you gotta take that. That's a good bet.
That's good odds.
Pete, I'm not cheering for them, but I'm confident that they will win. So
I appreciate that.
We'll do some prop bets probably on.
I'll
Sunday
take that
morning.
energy.
Yeah, well, listen. I mean, it's. I understand the logic behind having the division, the Super Bowl champ in the division and getting to beat up on them potentially the following year. I get it. I just don't ascribe to it, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it's the last Sunday of football for a long time, and really, a lot of people argue that last weekend or the divisional round is like the conference championships is like the best weekend, right? And this is just
usually is.
Yeah. I mean, so. We'll see. Hopefully we get a good game out of it. I know, obviously, Pete, you want to win more than a good game. The rest of us want a good game, so we'll see what happens. But, I hope as we transition into basically effectively bit season after this, right? Because there's no football necessarily to talk about, and the Wizards are not talk aboutable. I know that's not a word, but like I cannot talk Wizards after like you want to talk about Leonsis and all the anyway.
Worst owner in DC if Snyder didn't exist.
He gets a pass because of how bad Snyder is. He gets a pass because of Snyder being so even with the learners and like he's terrible. Like he's terrible, and it just seems like they're just happy to collect everyone's ticket sales or revenue or whatever, and then just not pay anybody. Bradley Beal stinks. They even like right now firing up the intro like Beal the dagger. Like I love that call, but I can't cheer for Bradley Beal anymore. Like he's done. He's done. I want John Wall back so bad. I want John Wall with one leg. That's what I want. That's what I
It's
want.
desperation over there. I'll
Yeah,
feeling for you all.
yeah. What were we? The Sixers? Like, come on. We got the Nets trading away Kyrie again. Like, Kyrie's the champ of I'm never gonna leave here. I love it here. And then
You need a whole episode on
immediately-
Kyrie.
Well, listen, he's fascinating. Like he goes into the top 5 people I'd love to just interview or just talk to. Right? Like I would love to just see how his brain goes from one
goodness.
topic to another. But anyway, boys, thank you for making time. Pete, good luck this weekend.
Gents,
FP,
thank you.
Thanks for hopping on and
appreciated.
making this happen too. It's good to see you. It's good to talk sports and football
Likewise.
and all other things. Stevie, it's good to see you too as well. Until next time, we'll see. Hopefully we can find a cadence and bring the show back. I definitely miss it. We appreciate everyone that's been asking, DMing on the Twitter and the Facebook page. Those are still up. They still exist. We're occasionally peppering in there some thoughts on Twitter in particular. The show is still available on YouTube if you're watching live, Twitter, Facebook, anytime. The archives are all there on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, Google Play. Like the show is still out there. And hopefully as we transition into post-football season, we will find a cadence and bring it back a little bit more. But this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for checking out the show. As always, if you need to get in touch with us, pick your favorite social media platform, search for DTC Defeating the Curse, and send us a note. We'd love to have you on, get some comments in here. Maybe we'll do a mailbag next week or so after the Super Bowl and when we do a little bit of recapping. But for now, Pete, thank you. FP, thank you. Stevie, thank you. For all the boys here at DTC, we are out.